The Magic Speed 1 and 2 really disappointed me despite the very high hopes I had for these two shoes. When the Magic Speed 3 released, I didn't really know what to expect. And here's what I found. Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex. In today's video, we are reviewing the Asics Magic Speed 3. This is essentially Asics tempo shoe coming as a little sister, a little brother to the Metaspeed series of shoes. It's a plated shoe with very advanced modern foams, but without that very high performance identity correlated to it. It's something like the Zoomfly 5 with Nike, like the Boston for Adidas, or like the Mac X for Hoka recently. It's really that companion trainer shoe. Like I said in the intro, Magic Speed 1 and Magic Speed 2 were real disappointments for me. The first one was very firm and quite useless. The second one had a geometry issue for my personal gait cycle, and it wasn't really what I expected. And this one is already much better, I can tell you. But let's go through the whole review. This shoe comes at 238 grams in my size US 11 EU 45. It has a 34.5 millimeters stack height in the heel, 7 millimeters drop, giving that 27.5 millimeters of stack height in the forefoot. 7 millimeters is pretty much what the other Magic Speed shoes had, if I remember well, but you will correct me in the comments section. Otherwise, it is plated. You can, feel it, but it's still quite a bendable shoe, and that's for the specs. The upper is a very nice piece of material, very similar to the Metaspeed Plus series and the Super Blast. If you like those uppers, you will like this one. It's a very snug and fitted type of fit. You can really feel the material wrapping your foot. If you have wide feet, stay away from this shoe. That's my advice here. It's true to size, but it runs a bit short. I could imagine some people going half size up. I personally like the fit of this shoe, being a bit shorter and a bit snug. That's what I like for tempo efforts and for faster paces. So definitely a good upper score for me. The tongue is really minimal, but I don't have any lacing pressure. The laces are okay. And overall, I'm very happy with the upper. But again, keep in mind, it's narrow, snug, fitted. And if you like that, it's perfect. If you have wider fit, just stay away from it. The platform is also very narrow. As you can see, the midfoot, especially the midfoot section, is quite narrow. And that translates, I think, to that quite snug upper and snug fit in general. Looking at the midsole, we have two different layers. The top layer, the red one, is Flight Firm Blast Plus. The other one being regular Flight Firm Blast, if I'm not mistaken. But again, please correct me in the comments if I am. And a plate is sandwiched in between the two. Geometry is really changing on this shoe compared to the previous one. I would call it a flatter shoe in the heel and a slightly less rockered shoe in the forefoot. It's more coming back to that racing flat type of geometry, and it's definitely going away from what the Magic Speed 2 brought to the table with a longer rocker, higher toe spring, and also a more beveled heel. This is really going away from this shoe, I would say, and this is definitely closer to the Metaspeed Plus series, especially to the Edge Plus with the 8 millimeters drop on that shoe, and here 7. It feels a bit the same, and it's a good thing because if you like the Edge Plus like I do, you find some of that DNA in this shoe. How does it ride? How does it work? It's a very snappy ride. It's an aggressive ride. You can feel that the platform is really narrow and you don't have a lot of room to maneuver in terms of lateral medial movement. You really need to keep your foot strike aligned to move forward and ideally to move fast. At slower paces, this shoe doesn't feel super comfortable. You know that there isn't, again, much room to maneuver and that, spraining an ankle is not far from you because of that very narrow platform. The ride is very good. I really appreciate it. I think it's, again, very close to the Metaspeed Plus series. I could imagine some people racing in this shoe instead of going to Metaspeed Plus shoe, especially if you don't want to have multiple shoes for tempo and racing. This would do the trick probably better even than the Metaspeed Plus series, which is more of that racing shoe with probably a lower lifespan. This one with a very thick layer of outsole will offer you a very good durability and will be a very good shoe for tempo efforts and racing efforts as well. I see this shoe working really well for anyone striking from the heel to the forefoot. Heel strikers will really benefit from that quite snappy transition and quite snappy midfoot stance that you have in this shoe. Forefoot strikers will really feel the plate and will really feel all that Flight Foam Blast Plus foam. Nothing too soft, nothing too mushy, just the right, right amount of cushion, right amount of foam underfoot. And overall, I'm not going to go much further into the review here. It's a very solid shoe for the price point, 160 euros, $160. It's probably one of the best, if not the best tempo shoe you can find on the market. It's going to compete against the likes of Boston 12, Mac X, Kinvara Pro from Saucony. But we'll have a Super Trainer video, a Super Trainer comparison on the channel in a few weeks, so stay tuned for that. In any event, it's much better than Magic Speed 1, Magic Speed 2. If you were disappointed with those two shoes, you should check this one. It's available at Running Warehouse, Top for Running. The links are in the description, and I will link to the review of the Metaspeed series. I think it's so close to the Metaspeed Plus that we need to have a Metaspeed review linked at the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, and go beyond your limits. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.